so important for what we are doing now. But time doesn't stand still. Also, Nuno, in the last 10 years, has worked a lot, has treated so many patients in his clinics, and he has developed his understanding and his frequencies further. So today, he will present us the result of this new developments with new frequencies, with new insights, how to make the applications of Healy even more effective by following the natural cycle. So it's my pleasure to invite Nuno here to present to us what we can expect from the natural cycle. Nuno, it's your time.
Hello, Healy world. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here today. Thank you for having me. Most of you know and already use my gold cycle, and today I will share with you one of my latest creations. We are here today because life exists. And why does life exist? In a very simple way, because the Earth receives a set of forces, many of them invisible, that make life possible on Earth. This set of forces I like to call gravity. Others call it God. Of course, gravity isn't a pretty name, and it's very much associated with fools. One of the manifestations of gravity is in the cycles we are all familiar with, such as the lunar, solar, and daily. An easy way to represent these cycles, as well as the function of life, is with a well-known function called sine. Notice, if you draw the sine function for the solar cycle here and focus on the seasons of the year, we get something like this. The same applies to day and night. Gravity has created a cycle, the cycle of life. The more you are in resonance with this cycle, the better for you, the better for us. That's why I decided to create natural cycle, so that you can have a tool that helps us to get closer to these universal flows again. The natural cycle consists of finding the ideal organ that we should stimulate in order to resonate with the cycle of life. Preparing the body is very important. For this, we recommend that you drink 2 bottles of water, one 30 minutes before and one 50 minutes before the frequencies therapy. You should drink another bottle of water 15 minutes after the start of the therapy. That is, as soon as the activation phase ends. The frequency session is made up of 2 parts. The first is where the chosen organ, as you remember, is activated. The second part, which doesn't always cope, as we see later, in which stabilization frequencies are used. Activation set lasts 15 minutes. Don't forget to drink a bottle of water once you are done. Stabilization's program lasts 30 minutes and you have 2 options: daily rhythm or solar rhythm. You should use daily if you feel that you are too out of the alignment with your daily cycle. For example, if you don't empty your bowels in the morning, or solar if your daily cycle is already quite aligned. The reconnection with the natural cycle should start on the chosen day. Regarding the time at which it will be done, we have 2 options. Having chosen the organ, we make the respective program at the time of that organ it must active. For example, if I choose a spleen or pancreas, I should do it between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. However, if the organ you have chosen does not come at a good time, for example, in the middle of the night, you can choose the nearest organ at convenient time. For example, instead of doing long program between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., you can do the stomach program between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. The reconnection with the natural cycle should end when you feel aligned and rebalance. At the closing date, you must choose one of the 4 trigger dates or one of the 4 intermediate dates. And that's all for today. I take the opportunity to tell you that I will be present at the Frequencies and Friends event on the 1st of April. See you there. Bye-bye, and thank you.
Thank you, Nuno, so much. That's really exciting news, and I'm personally looking so much forward to reconnect to the natural cycle by using this new Healy program applications. Because with this new natural cycle, you give something in our hands which makes all the difference. We all have used dozens of Healy programs, frequency programs, and we can continue using them in exactly the same way, starting whenever we want or whenever we need it. But these 14 programs of your natural cycle give us a chance to use the power of another additional element, and that's the power and the quality of time. Out of the perspective of physics, time and frequencies are inverse properties. Frequency is measured in the inverse of time, and in this way, the description of the world through time and through frequencies are complementary to each other. So if you combine the power of both, you get a point from where, like Archimedes said, you can change or move the world. He said, give me a standpoint and I have a lever to move and lift the world. And this is what we want to do with a natural cycle, to realign ourselves, not just individually, but also collectively to the powerful cycles and energy of nature. And they consist of 3 very important forces, as Nuno has mentioned. There is the force of the moon, and there is the solar force of the sun, and there's the force of the earth, representing the 3 most powerful physical energies and forces around us, which is gravity, magnetism, and electricity. And through uniting and aligning the time when we start a specific frequency programs with the specific frequencies exactly aligned with this timing, we have this lever to change and move the world. And we have 8 of these special moments which we can use for different purposes. And the special thing about today is that we have one of these moments, of these days coming ahead. It's the 11th of May. And it's so special because if we get the natural cycle now, along with it, we get training how to prepare our body, how to prepare ourselves to individually and collectively start on this 11th of May, which is a high point of spring, having this powerful energy, renewing energy of the spring. And we can start our natural cycle this day. So how long do we need to prepare? Ideal 4 weeks, and if we start now, we have them. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, doesn't matter. Use the gold cycle in the way as it is described in the training materials to prepare to start on a very special time with one of these 14 programs of the natural cycle. And in this way, we align to the forces of nature. This is something we can start now together, and in this way, collectively, we will all do it here in Healy World, and I hope as many of you out there, of our Healy World members, will join us in this powerful, collective realigning with the forces of nature. And then later in the year, whenever you need it, for example, when the summer starts on the 21st of June, or very important 21st of September, when we are leaving the spring summer seasons and going towards autumn and winter with completely different challenges, we can again use the same natural cycle programs to align, this time with a different timing, and with different timing we get different frequencies. So I consider this really an amazing step in the evolution of Healy, which gives us a new quality, which gives us a new power and quantity in what frequencies can do to change ourselves and change the world.